Get the tools you need to become a free and independent trainer with my Dumbbells to Dollars course at www.dumbbells2dollars.com. Hi everybody, Jonathan here, and in this video, your original Fit Boss is going to give you the 2 reasons why clients leave, why they cancel, why they quit. And I can make this very simple. They leave for one of 2 reasons. Either you have changed or they have not changed enough. So let's break this down. So what I mean by that is, when I say you have changed, you have to understand that when you first meet a client, you probably have a fair amount of energy because you're so desperate to get them as a client. You're thinking about all the extra money that you're going to be making since you signed this person up for your boot camp or for your personal training. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to check your nutrition. I'm going to make sure that you stay successful. I'm going to hit you. I'm going to make sure that you get to your end goal. I'm going to give you all these great workouts. I'm going to do everything under the sun. And I'm making all these promises. And then all of a sudden, maybe week 1, maybe week 2, maybe up to week 10, you are this very motivated person. But somewhere along the line, you start to think about, all right, I already got this person in the bag. Now let me worry about the next person. What can I do to get the next person? So you're making all these promises to the next person at the expense of the first person. So it's like they paid you with the expectations of getting this constant stream of motivation and education, and all of a sudden it just stops. And that's something that makes somebody say, you know what, I'm spending all this money and this is not exactly who I thought it was. I was so excited about this in the beginning, and actually the relationship should strengthen as time goes on because you're actually getting to know the person better. You're getting to know their likes and dislikes, so you can now more tailor the workouts to exactly what they need. You can start to delve into what they want in their personal life and then give them tips on how to achieve whatever they want in their personal life. But instead, you're kind of falling backwards. You're coming to the point where you're just like a regular trainer, putting them through the motions. They kind of understand all of your workouts. Nothing's new. You're not investing anything new into them. When was the last time that you thought of, an exercise or a workout or a piece of equipment that you got just for this client? And you may be using this for all of your clients. But, Mary, I was thinking about how much you like to do balance, how much you like to play tennis, and I got these cones so we could do these drills, and then it'll help you a lot with your tennis game. When was the last time you did that for your client? All right, and these aren't large investments that you have to make, but any investment that you make into your client, whether it's monetary for equipment or even emotional, plays a huge part. So let's talk about your current clients. If you don't see them in the gym, how often do they hear from you? All right, I make use of a service called Mobile Text Alerts, and I run a boot camp, so it's a little bit different for me. But every Monday, anybody that isn't in class, number 1, I write their name down on a big wall and I post it on Instagram. And number 2, I text them each personally and I just say, hey, how are you? We miss you today. I want to see you the next class. How many days can you commit to? And ask them to commit to something. How many days can you commit to for the week? If I don't see them, what's been going on? Is something off? You're not your normal self. Like, I still notice these things because I still care. But if you're constantly looking at the next person, you're not even going to notice this stuff anymore. And before long, the client is going to pick up on that. And they're just going to say, you know what? I'm just another person in, his book of business or in his class. And it doesn't really matter. So why should I even stay? And then before you know it, they come less and less times. And then all of a sudden, I think I'm going to take some time off. And you don't want to do that because all you have to do is keep the energy up. And that's not hard to do. That's just something that you have to choose to do. Now, the other half of this, the other reason why people leave is no results. And the truth is, most clients, unless they are really like completely killing it in a bad way, nutritionally, should be seeing some results. But they don't know that they're making any results because you're not checking them. And I always say, and you know what, maybe not a lot of trainers do this. I think this gives me a huge upper hand against all my other trainers in my area, is I actually take measurements. I don't know why trainers think they're above taking measurements. They think that it's all about the exercise. They don't want to focus on nutrition. They don't want to take measurements. They just want to give workouts. But the client at the same time is saying that they're coming in for fat loss or weight loss, and you're not checking this. Or you're just checking the scale, which is the worst thing that you could be checking for the client if that's the only thing you're checking. Because weight can go up or down 3 to 5 pounds at any time of the day for any reason. There are so many other things that you could be testing, such as resting heart rate to prove to your client that they're in better shape, such as performance tests, like a 60-second squat test or a 60-second push-up test, keeping records of those and then showing clients how they've progressed over time is a huge motivator for clients to stay with you and to try to achieve more. Anthropometric measurements. I do arms, chest, waist, hips, thighs, so the clients see, all right, we're moving down in some areas and others. And the most important thing is body fat percentage, because that is the best predictor of your client's success. More so even than weight, because even though people focus on the scale, I tell people to take their mind off of the scale and to focus on body fat percentage, because that's not something you can cheat. If I wanted to gain 5 pounds right now, all I got to do is drink like a gallon of water and I'll gain 5 pounds, all right? Versus if I wanted to lose 5 pounds, all I got to do is dehydrate myself. So that's not hard to do. I won't look very different. But when you change body fat percentage and when you track that and you show the client, you know what, you may not necessarily see it on the scale, but we see it in your resting heart rate, or we see it in your performance, or we see progress in your body fat percentage. That gives them more of a reason to say, you know what, I have something to shoot for. This trainer actually cares. So it goes back to point number one. Let me stick around. And then they start to ask, what else can I do to get to this goal? And then that opens up a whole new level of conversations you can have with your client, a whole new level of care, which gets them more loyal to you and makes them less likely to leave. But what are trainers doing? They're souping their clients up when they first meet them, and then a couple weeks or a couple months into their sessions or into their relationship, they're slowly caring less and less. They're not checking up on the client. They're not doing anything beyond just workouts, so they're not checking the client's nutrition. They're not checking their progress in terms of performance or in terms of body fat, if they're even monitoring anything at all, and then they wonder why clients leave. So that's why clients are leaving. You have to make sure that you're investing into these people, because at any time, for the most part, they can leave. Once they go through all of their, blocks of sessions, then you know what? It's a free game, all right? You're competing with everybody all over again. And now they have the history of you kind of like falling off to compare to the next trainer that said, oh yeah, your trainer stopped caring after 3 months. I don't do that to my clients. So I don't want to talk too long, but I do want to encourage you to make sure that you keep all the promises you make when you first meet the client, and that you grow the relationship with the client as you get to know them, as opposed to shrinking the relationship and then just making them like another name in your book of business. Because before long, the client's going to leave. You're going to lose all your opportunities to get referrals for them, and then you're going to be doing this rat race all over again. So don't put all this energy into acquiring a new client. It takes a lot less energy to keep a client than it does to acquire a new one. So make sure to treat your clients like gold, and I guarantee you that they're going to be with you for the long haul. So that's about it. I didn't want to talk too much. I really didn't even know what I wanted to say this week, but I figured that would be a great topic, because we're at that time of the year where people's motivation starts to like slow down a little bit. So you need to ramp up exactly what's important, why it's important, so that people don't just find a reason or an excuse to stop training with you. So if you have any questions, put them in the comment section below. As you know, your questions are what fuel the videos on this channel. And of course, if you're looking for resources to put together better workouts and then help people better with their nutrition, how to run fat loss contests to keep them engaged, I definitely recommend that you get my Dumbbell Stars course. That is going to be the best tool that you can invest in to see success as a personal trainer. But that's about it. I'm not even sure what I want to talk about next week. So if you have an idea, put them in the comment section and maybe I'm going to use it. So I'm out. I'll be back next week, as long as you remember to eat healthy, hydrate, drive safe, shut yourselves all, get rest, don't slap anybody, love your clients, say love you back. I'll see y'all tomorrow or the next day, and you have a good one.